Okay, so in today's video, I wanted to take a look at the third episode of Adolescence. Now, I know it's been a while since I've done any videos like this, but I thought I'd give it another go. So I've seen the first episode of Adolescence. I haven't actually seen this episode. From what I've gathered, it's kind of a bit like a therapy scene. So I'm just going to play it from the moment that the therapist, I presume is a therapist, comes into the room, and I'm just going to talk through kind of my reflections, what I see happening, what I'm picking up on. Again, these are just kind of sort of initial thoughts and reactions to it, of what I'm picking up on. Be interested to know other people's thoughts, maybe those that have seen kind of the whole of the show all the way through, or if there's any agreement with what I'm saying or not. But yeah, I'm just going to start it just as the therapist is beginning to come into the room, and then we'll sort of take it from there, really, and see what comes up.
Hot chocolate.
Sprinkles.
Lots of them.
You remembered. Thank you.
And I saved you half my sandwich in case you were hungry.
What is it?
Cheese and pickle.
Okay, so I mean, my first thoughts is when she's come into the room here is that this feels quite a motherly type response, that she's brought him his hot chocolate, she's got him a sandwich, so it feels kind of quite motherly, for want of maybe a better phrase in this. And I don't know, he seemed a little bit nervous, a little bit apprehensive there to begin with. Um, and already a little bit of a snap in response to what she's just said there. But yeah, that's kind of my first thoughts here. This almost feels like kind of mum come to look after her son. And let's see kind of how this moves forward.
No tomatoes.
Tomatoes don't go very well with pickle.
No salad.
Would I do that to you? There's no tomatoes, there's no salad, there's just cheese and pickle. Do you want it? I'll save it for later.
No. I'll have it. I don't know about pickle though, but
Yeah, okay. So again, it feels kind of, you could imagine mother-son having this sort of an interaction. It's a little bit playful. He's sort of asking a few questions about it as well. But yeah, so initially kind of quite wholesome for maybe in this sort of moment. A bit mother-son.
I'll have it. Did you make it?
Yes.
Well, you make what you do.
What, you think that's weird?
No. My mum makes them.
Wow, that makes two of us then.
Okay, so even there, almost sort of reinforcing what I was saying, that well, you're a bit like my mum, aren't you? That you do sandwiches too, like she would. So I wonder if that, again, I don't know, having not seen it, I wonder if that's going to play a part of this dynamic right now. What can happen is that you kind of map on a blueprint of relationships in these sorts of situations. So I'm wondering if there's anything that comes out further with this around kind of mother-son dynamic. But that's kind of first, that you're a bit like my mum. She makes butties, and yeah, so that's kind of first thoughts here.
Is it nice?
It's a bit hot.
I don't mind hot.
Okay. And even in that bit just then, that you've got the sense of, she's almost like, be careful. That's kind of like something that a mum might do to a son is, "Hey, watch out, it's a bit warm," and he's like, "I'm fine, I'm okay, don't bother worrying about me." So he's kind of a little bit of a, again, as an adolescent would, parental figure showing them care. "No, I'm big, I'm tough, don't worry, I can have hot drinks, you don't need to worry about me."
You're looking better than last time.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you just got some of your colour back.
You sound like a granny.
Do I?
Oh, you got your colour back. You can't have been that ill.
It's a good voice.
No.
Do you see?
Okay, so even again there, it's reinforcing that you sound like a granny, and I'm a bit irritated by the fact that you're like that. It's like you're trying to show me care, and look after me, but I take it a bit sort of like patronizing, looking down at me sort of response to it. So, which again is kind of classic, sort of teen position, I get, is that move, I guess, is kind of that movement from wanting to be cared for as a child to something like, look, I can look after myself. Stop worrying about me. I'm getting a bit irritated by your care towards me.
See your grandparents much?
Well, not recently, no.
No, I meant before all this.
Yeah, a bit. My dad's side, my dad's mum and dad, my mum didn't get on with us.
Yeah, we spoke about that. So, what are your dad's parents like?
I don't know. Like him.
What does
Okay, so I don't know if you just noticed there, but I'll kind of play it back. So she just asked, what are your dad's parents like? And he sighed. Now, a sigh is a sign of rising some sort of feelings. It tends to be the first sign that something inside of us is, yeah, something emotional is beginning to rise. So she's asked him a question and he sighed in response. Now, we don't know what that emotion is right now. I have a guess. Maybe there's some frustration in what she's saying right now. But yeah, something's activated in him in response to her questions about his family.
that mean?
They like things they like them. Like, no gravy. Such a shame. Or, I like a slice of my dinner if you've got one in Amanda.
Slice of what?
Bread. You're posh, aren't you?
No, I'm just not from.
Okay, you can even see it in his brows. Then it's like there's a frustration. He's already annoyed by her, and I'm wondering if he's beginning to see, or he thinks that he's being patronized by her. I can't quite work that dynamic out just yet, and that might be something that plays out. I can't. I guess my initial response there is he feeling patronized by her, or is he patronizing her instead? Because he's like, what are you on about here? So he's a bit annoyed by her, but I can't tell if he feels like she's looking down at him or he's looking down at her, or maybe kind of a mix of both of those dynamics at this moment in time.
Where you're
Well,
from?
what do you call bread? If you don't call it a slice,
Bread?
you're posh.
If it makes you happy that I am, Jamie, then
Well, what do
I
you call
am.
your granddad? Bet you call him grandpa.
I do not.
I bet you do.
I call him Pop Pop.
What? Do you?
Yes, I do.
Wow. Jesus.
I don't know.
I've not heard that
why.
one before.
Okay. Maybe he asked me to call him that. I'm not sure.
You're really posh.
So it kind of feels a little bit in this moment in time, it's a little bit playful as well. This is kind of there's this kind of light-hearted dynamic in this as well. There's some tension, I think, that there's a little bit of frustration with how she is, but also kind of this playful. This feels almost like kind of teacher student again, which would be understandable kind of adolescent dynamics in this as well. But this feels a little bit playful. They're towing the line here between sort of being frustrated, but also, kind of something more light-hearted in it. And maybe that's her as well. She was kind of trying to lighten the mood a little bit in her response in this moment in time. So yeah, there's something trying to keep it playful as well in the dynamic.
You're not going to try the sandwich?
I'll have it later. It's just the pickle. Hate it.
You hate it? God, I really messed up then.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So can we talk a bit about you? You see a lot of your dad and your granddad, do you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it just what they say or how they do things? What's your dad and his dad like?
Men.
Okay, what?
So I don't know if you noticed there, but when she asked this question, he like gave a one-word answer, I think, in response to this. Whereas the little bit before, that was a little bit more playful. There was a bit more kind of dialogue happening at that moment in time. But suddenly, right now that he's kind of beginning to resist, and you can tell sort of somebody's resisting because it's a one-word response. Like, I don't want to engage in a conversation with you about this. Um, so potentially he's annoyed at her asking questions um, about this right now, and his way of managing that is to begin to sort of like one word response. And he was again a little bit sarcastic in his response there, but just like men. So yeah, so I think it seems as soon as she begins to start asking questions about family, he gets annoyed when she sort of tries to move the conversation in a more personal avenue.
Well, would masculine be an okay word to use?
You used it.
When I hear the word masculine, I think they can mend things. They like to make things. They like sports. They like going to the pub.
Yeah, not the pub, but yeah.
Your dad doesn't go to the pub.
No, not really. Not as much as my pop.
You're not going to let me forget that, are you?
No.
So your granddad's more of a...
Okay, so you can see that dynamic. It's sort of this, and I wonder kind of how much this sort of plays out then, sort of moving forwards with this. There's this dynamic, um, the playful dynamic that begins to play out. And why do we kind of use humor and playfulness? Well, that is a way of reducing pressure or tension in a conversation with somebody. So there's this line here where she asks a question about something about family. He probably gets a bit annoyed by it. Um, but then there's kind of this humorous bit, and that will kind of like, it's almost like takes the pressure out of it. It alleviates the pressure and the tension in the room between the two of them. And then do you notice that once that humor comes back in, they can start to have a bit more of a conversation again. So again, yeah, it's probably I wonder if that's a dynamic that's going to play a bit more out between the two of them, between the sort of playfulness, the tension, the frustration, and the questions. Um, but I really like the camera work in that bit too, where it's sort of the fact that it came back round to looking at her, and I almost felt in myself like I was him, sort of trying to figure her out. What's she trying to do in this situation? Which I'm wondering if that's kind of his position at this moment in time as well. It's like what's she trying to figure out about me? And he's sort of probably sort of having that conversation in his own head at this time.
pub man, is he?
I don't know. He's not around that much anymore.
How much?
Every other Sunday, maybe. Sometimes in the week when Mum and Dad are both working, but that's more granny. A bit more in the holidays.
Okay, so I'm just gonna play that bit back again, because what I was struck with, so think of this as sort of a therapeutic intervention, as it were, is that her question then became a bit more pressured than the previous question. So when she says how much, she's saying what she's doing in that moment is saying, I'm inviting you to give me more information than you just have about something personal. And what we noticed so far already is that he gets irritated and frustrated by this response. Now, what I noticed in his response was that he took a big gulp and he tightened up. Now, that's a sign of anxiety, and normally that response of anxiety is because it's pressing on something in him that he doesn't really want to go to. So I'm just going to rewind that bit and just sort of see that bit play out there, because I think when she starts to put more pressure on something closer to him, which is about his family, being more specific about it, it triggers something in him that she's trying to get closer to him that he doesn't like.
He's not around that much anymore.
How much?
Every other Sunday, maybe. Sometimes in the week when Mum and Dad are both working, but that's more granny. A bit more in the holidays. We went to Tenerife in them once.
On holiday?
Okay, so again, I think my screen was a little bit buffering in that moment as I'd gone back on it. But I don't know if you noticed there, sort of watching it back. So he was like stuttering a bit more in the way that he was talking. And then there was that gulp then when he started talking about his granny. So that's happening because he's becoming more uncomfortable in response to her question. You could see like how much was like that was a direct question. It's not this playful sort of having a bit of a joke um, conversation at this moment in time. She's put some more pressure on him to give a direct answer, and he starts to stutter. He's getting anxious because again, he's tensing up in response to this question. He's uncomfortable with the directness of this question. For whatever reason, I don't know right now. Maybe something around that he doesn't like the fact that she's beginning to talk about his family. Maybe there's something about women being direct with him that he's uncomfortable with. But yeah, there's something that activates in him when she's more direct with him.
They?
No, banana picking. Obviously, it was on holiday.
Okay. I don't think I've ever heard it.
Okay, so that's really interesting as well in that moment. So he uses sarcasm to express his anger. Now, sarcasm is like a discharge of anger within inside ourselves, and I've noticed a couple of times now he kind of has these sarky comments back when she um, when she says things to him that are a little bit more direct. So what you're noticing there is that she asks a more direct question. He gets annoyed by her, probably. This would be, you know, sort of a theory to hold on to. He's getting annoyed by her, and um, that's kind of going on internally for him. And the way he kind of like discharges that energy of annoyance to her is that he's sarcastic and quite critical of her. This is kind of he's moving to being a bit patronizing about her, like, oh, look at you, you're a bit thick, aren't you? In this way. So that's kind of probably his internal mechanism that he has for feeling anger towards whether women or people in authority. Could be a mix of things here. But yeah, you asked me something direct. I'm annoyed by you. I can't tell you straight away and say, look, actually, stop asking me these questions right now. This really isn't okay. I don't want you to talk about it. He doesn't have that way of communicating it. So instead, he gets a bit sarcastic and begins to put her down.
Anyone use banana picking in him?
Okay, and again, the laugh, the tension release, that we can all calm down again in the room. We're back to the light-hearted bit. We've alleviated the tension through sarcasm and humor, and you can see the smile on his face right now.
I suppose the other thing I think about when I hear the word masculine would be the way that masculine.
This all started because I said you sounded like a granny.
What?
Okay, so again, his eyes went then, didn't it? He'd alleviated the tension, we'd gone light-hearted, but she's kind of coming back in again on this more serious topic when I talk about masculinity. So it feels like she's trying to sort of not dominate the conversation, but she's taken a more authoritative position in this moment. Like, I'm going to ask you again about masculinity. And he scowled at her, he's getting annoyed by her questions right now in response to this. So I'm just going to play that bit back again because that was kind of, I noticed that bit, but I'll just see if there's any other bits as well that kind of happened because it felt that sort of triggered something.
Use banana picking in him. I suppose the other thing I think about when I hear the word masculine would be the way that masculine.
This all started because I said you sounded like a granny.
What?
This all started because I said you sounded like a granny. And now you're just going on about masculine stuff.
Okay, so there's a lot gone on just in that short exchange right there in this moment. So what you see is that he's annoyed by her, that she's asked this question of masculinity, and if you notice that he doesn't let her speak, he interjects really quickly, which is basically like he's getting more annoyed. And in a sense, this first defense of having a laugh, having a joke hasn't worked out. She's sort of come back at him again a bit more. So in a sense, he's having to kind of ramp up his um his approach to this. The lightheartedness is not going to work in this moment in time. So he bites back and he shuts her down really quickly and he says, this is because I said you were a granny, isn't it? Now, what that makes me think of in this moment is that he now sees her as quite a vindictive person in this moment in time. Do you notice if you think back to kind of what was happening to begin with, there was kind of this really caring, motherly son type dynamic in that moment, that he could see her as this person, he was a bit jokey with her, a little bit sarcastic towards her, but he could see her as someone that was caring towards him. Right now, he's beginning to see her as somebody that's being really critical of him, that you've held on to something that I said to you, and now you're using it against me, aren't you? So he's sort of beginning to shift his view of her, and he's getting more annoyed by her because she's bringing him back to this conversation he doesn't want to have. he hasn't got the language to communicate that to her, by what it seems right now. His initial defense of sarcasm and humor isn't working, so he's starting to get more annoyed by her, um, which is what's coming out in this moment in time. So I think at this moment in time, I'm just going to pause this video here, because it's been a while since I've put one of these videos up. There've been some issues with kind of getting them uploaded due to kind of copyright issues. So I just kind of want to test this bit out right now and see how it lands. So obviously there's a few themes here that have begun to come through in this video that we can begin to see the dynamics between the two of them. And hopefully if this video goes up okay, I'm going to come back to this and we can look moving forward to this to see kind of what happens and how this begins to play out more in this episode between the two of them.